There's a certain poetry to life, a rhythm that defies control. The harder you push against it, the more it pushes back. Think about it. How many times have you forced something, a situation, a relationship, a feeling, only to have it crumble in your hands like dry sand? The truth is, there are things in life that must unfold naturally. They demand patience, not pressure, surrender, not stubbornness. When you try to bend them to your will, they either break or become something unrecognizable. So what are these unyielding forces of life? What are the things that refuse to be coerced, no matter how much effort you pour into them? The answers might surprise you, not because they're unknown, but because we so often ignore them in our rush to make life conform to our desires. Love, respect, healing, connection, and attention. These are not prizes to be won by force, but gifts that come freely, or not at all. Let's peel back the layers of each and uncover why forcing these things never works, and why letting go might be the most powerful choice you'll ever make. 1. Love. Love is not a math equation. You can't solve it by sheer effort. It's not a faucet you can turn on or off, nor a seed that will grow simply because you will it to. True love is organic. It emerges when two souls find resonance, not when one person tries to mold another into a desired shape. Picture this. You meet someone who ticks all the boxes. They're charming, attractive, and seem perfect on paper. Yet, there's a nagging emptiness, a lack of connection that you can't quite put your finger on. Instead of walking away, you convince yourself to try harder, to make it work. You pour energy into convincing them and yourself that this is love. But is it? Or are you chasing a mirage, hoping that persistence will make the illusion real? Forced love feels hollow. It's like trying to plant a garden in the middle of winter. No matter how much you till the soil or scatter the seeds, nothing will bloom. The tragedy is not just in the wasted effort, but in the way it blinds you to the beauty of love that grows effortlessly elsewhere. True love doesn't need convincing. It doesn't need pressure. It just is. 2. Respect. Respect, like love, cannot be commanded. You can demand obedience, perhaps even fear, but respect is earned, not taken. It's rooted in authenticity, in the consistency of your actions aligning with your words. Imagine walking into a room and shouting, "Respect me." What would happen? At best, you'd get awkward glances. At worst, outright defiance. Respect doesn't thrive in an environment of force because it's a response, not a command. It's what people feel when they see integrity, competence, and compassion in you. Think of the times you've tried to force respect in subtle ways, overcompensating, bragging, or insisting on being the boss. Did it work? Or did it leave you feeling even more insecure? Real respect isn't flashy, it's quiet and enduring. It comes from standing firm in your values, even when no one is watching. When you let go of the need to be respected at all costs, you free yourself from the exhausting cycle of performance. And ironically, it's in that moment of release that true respect often finds you. 3rd stop. Forcing yourself to get over things. Healing is not a race. It's not something you can force yourself to do on a timeline. Yet, how often do we berate ourselves for not moving on fast enough? We tell ourselves to get over it, as though grief, heartbreak, or trauma were inconveniences to be swept under the rug. But here's the thing, forcing healing only prolongs the pain. Imagine breaking your leg and then insisting you should be able to run a marathon a week later. Would you push yourself until the leg healed, or would you end up causing more damage? Emotional wounds are no different. They need time, space, and, most importantly, patience. Sometimes the hardest thing is to sit with your pain and let it teach you what it needs to. Healing doesn't happen in a straight line. Some days you'll feel like you've moved mountains. Other days, it will take all your strength just to get out of bed. And that's okay. When you stop forcing yourself to get over things, you create room for true healing. You give yourself permission to feel, to grieve, and to grow. And in that space of acceptance, you might just find the peace you've been searching for. Fourth, stop trying to force yourself to connect with people you don't have a true connection with. Not every handshake needs to turn into a friendship. Not every smile hides a potential soulmate. Connection is sacred, and forcing it where it doesn't exist only leads to frustration and heartache. Think about the last time you tried to force a bond. Maybe it was at work, with a colleague who shared none of your values, but whose approval you desperately wanted. Or perhaps it was in a social setting where you tried to fit into a group that never really felt like home. Did it feel genuine, or did it feel like trying to jam a square peg into a round hole? Forced connections are draining. They leave you questioning yourself, wondering what you're doing wrong, when the truth is simple. Not every connection is meant to be. And that's not a failure, it's life. When you let go of the need to connect with everyone, you make space for the people who truly resonate with you. These are the connections that nourish your soul, that feel effortless and uplifting, and they're worth waiting for. 5. Attention. Attention is a fleeting thing, and chasing it is like trying to catch smoke with your bare hands. Yet, in a world obsessed with likes, views, and followers, it's easy to fall into the trap of seeking validation through attention. But here's the catch. Forced attention is never satisfying. It's shallow and temporary, like a sugar rush that leaves you crashing moments later. True attention, the kind that matters, is given freely, not extracted through theatrics or manipulation. Think about the times you've tried to force attention. Maybe you exaggerated a story to make people laugh, or dressed in a way that felt unnatural just to turn heads. Did it make you feel seen, or did it leave you feeling hollow, as though the attention you craved wasn't really for you, but for the persona you created? When you stop chasing attention, something magical happens. You start to attract the right kind of people, the ones who see you for who you really are, not for the performance you put on. And that kind of attention is worth far more than 1,000 fleeting glances. Forcing these 5 things, love, respect, healing, connection, and attention, is like trying to hold water in your hands. The tighter you squeeze, the more it slips away. But when you loosen your grip, when you let life unfold at its own pace, you discover something extraordinary. The things you've been chasing all along often come to you when you stop chasing them. Let go. Trust the process, and watch as life surprises you in ways you never imagined.